Hi, I'm Igor Khmelnytsky, international chess master, experienced coach, and an author. Today I'm going to talk about a simul and a book signing that I had done at the North Penn Chess Club in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. About 3 weeks ago I attended the club and signed copies of my newest book, Chess Exam, Match Against Chess Legends, You versus Bobby Fischer. I also played simul against the members of the club. I had written about this simul on my website. Go to imcoach.com, and then on the left side you can see here lessons from the simul. So I told about the simul and also showed some examples, a couple of interesting snapshots that I thought had some lesson for the reader. And today I'm going to show you a few more examples. This time I'm going to use a video as a medium. The advantage of the video is that I'm going to pull the position and I'm just gonna say in this position it's white to move. The question is, should white take the pawn? Now you can pause the video, think about it for a couple of minutes, and then come back and try to compare your thoughts with mine. Pause it now. Okay, basically the rook endgames are always challenging to win. Therefore, even though white has two extra pawns here, if he can win a third pawn without any concessions, then of course he should take it. And the only problem that white need to consider is the black rook penetrating to e2. However, white can handle it. Fortunately, because of the very limited space on the second rank, next move white would just play the king up and force the rook out. Therefore, white just wins the pawn and easily neutralizes black's activity. Next example. In this position it's white to move. How should white continue his attack? You can pause it now. Now the interesting kind of a story in this game is that black had never a castle. Initially, when his king was under assault, he traveled from e8 to f7 to g7, and then he kind of ran back to c8. I played queen a6 check, king d8, trying again to escape back to the king side. However, after d6 the trip was over. Take, okay, e7 and check. Okay, next example. Now this was one of the more challenging games in simul. It's black to move. How do you assess this position and what should black do? In this case, even though it looks like white has a space advantage and development, it's actually, I didn't really like my position even a little bit, because the e5 pawn is a liability. The knight on b4 is really annoying, attacking a2 and a d3, so I really felt uncomfortable. However, because it was on a simul, my opponent didn't really have much time to think about, as you know, in a simul, when I came to the board, he was supposed to make a move, and he took a couple of passes that were allowed, but now he was really kind of out of passes, and he really made a positional blunder here, playing f6, and basically my liability was gone, and instead I got an attack on the e6 pawn. Instead, the right way to play was to pull this knight back, and it's really not that much about the knight trying to improve. No, it's more about him putting pressure on my rook and gaining future attack on d3 and a2, and black has advantage here. And finally, this endgame. What do you think is the way for white to convert his obvious advantage? Yeah, this is one of my favorite ideas that I don't really read it anywhere. I just sort of discovered it on my own, and I found it sort of being of great use, especially in the blitz, because you know, the normal way to use outside pass pawn is to leave it alone and run with the king to win this pawn and then promote the pawn. And black would be, you know, concerned with winning this pawn, and it's going to take probably at least 15, maybe 20 moves to convert. However, not in all, but in many of the positions there is a different method to convert, and this would be one example. You basically put your opponent in Zugzwang. Of course, he must have a move, and in this case he does, and then you take en passant, and again he must have another move, and again he does, and now you get a checkmate in 4 moves. So quite a few times I've used this method in the blitz games, and A, it always gives me a victory, and B, it always gives me a nice satisfaction from executing this really nifty idea. So the simul overall was fun. Answered questions about my books, signed a few copies. I had fun with the fox, and even found some examples to share with my students and with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.